Good morning. This is Dr. Yasin here, senior resident from the Department of Orthopedics. So I'll be talking today about the intertrochanteric fracture. So this is the fracture which occurs between the greater trochanter and the lesser trochanter in the intertrochanteric region. So here you can see a picture showing the acetabulum, the proximal femur, the pubic forming the hip joint, and you can see a line going. That's a fracture line extending from the greater trochanter to the lesser trochanter. Coming to the general features, it is an extracapsular fracture with a variable comminution. It's mostly common in geriatric age group, most commonly noted in women in their 50s. It's more common than the neck of femur fracture, which is an intracapsular fracture. It ignites easily and rarely it causes avascular necrosis of the head. Mechanism of injury: intertrochanteric fracture in younger individuals are mostly due to high velocity trauma, such as motor vehicle accident or fall from height. In elderly, it is due to a simple fall. Sign and symptoms: so patient will come to you with pain and marked shortening in the affected lower limb. Patient won't be able to lift their affected limb, lift their leg. Limb will be in complete external rotation. There will be swelling and ecchymosis around the affected hip and tenderness on palpation over the retrochanter. Displaced fractures are clearly symptomatic. Such patient usually cannot stand and won't be able to ambulate. Non-displaced fracture may be ambulatory and experience minimal pain, and there are yet another who complain of thigh or groin pain but have no history of accidental trauma. The amount of deformity in patient with intertrochanteric fracture reflects the degree of fracture displacement. Associated injuries: older individuals who sustain an intertrochanteric fracture as a result of low energy fall occasionally have an associated osteoporotic related fracture such as Achilles at the distal radius. Intertrochanter fracture in younger individuals are usually seen with high velocity injury such as motor vehicle accident or fall from height. In these patients, assessment must be made for possible associated head, neck, chest, or abdominal injury which are life threatening. Diagnostic imaging or investigation: X-ray is a standard diagnostic tool. AP view with bilateral hip and pelvis should do. When a hip fracture is suspected but not apparent on standard X-rays, or MRI or a bone scan can be done. CT scan will be preferred in case MRI is contraindicated. So here is a plain X-ray, AP view showing right-sided intertrochanteric fracture. So this fracture is classified by Boyd and Griffin and Ivan. So here is Boyd and Griffin's classification. It's based on the parts of fracture. So the first one, it's a linear fracture with no displacement or minimal displacement. And there is type 2 with linear IT fracture with minimal comminution and displacement. Third one is a subtrochanteric fracture where the fracture line is extending proximally to the shaft. And the fourth one is an intertrochanteric or a subtrochanteric fracture with extension into the proximal femoral shaft. The third one is also called as reverse oblique fracture. Coming to Ivan's classification, so there are totally 5 types. Type 1 is undisplaced two-part fracture. Type 2 is displaced two-part fracture. Type 3 is three-part fracture with posterior lateral comminution. Type 4 is three fracture with large posterior medial comminuted fracture, and type 5 is four-part fracture with comminution involving both the trochanters. Coming to the treatment, it's non-operative and operative. So indications for non-operative treatment is poor medical and surgical risk patient or terminally ill patient. So there are the various methods like very old patient, buck traction will do, Laster hip spica, derotation both, and skeletal traction through the distal femur or tibia for 10 to 12 weeks. So here is a picture showing the buck traction where there is a linear traction given to the affected lower limb, where there is a linear traction which helps in disimpacting the fracture site, and the patient will be kept like this from 8 to 12 weeks. And a re-X-ray will be done to check if there is union occurring at the fracture site. During this period, patient also should be given care for other complications like bed sore and systemic management. Systemic treatment should be given for pain. So here is a picture showing the hip spica. The first image is unilateral hip spica, second one 1.5, third one is bilateral. So here are the complications related to non-operative technique. So patient most commonly is decubitus ulcer or the pressure sore, because the patient will be immobilized or for a long duration of time. Patient will end up with urinary tract infection, joint contractures, pneumonia, and thromboembolic complication. Fracture healing was generally accompanied by varus deformity and shortening because of the inability of the traction to effectively contract the deforming muscle forces acting at the fracture site, leading for malunion. Coming to the operative treatment, most of the time intertrochanteric fracture are always treated with early internal fixation because it will unite easily and we can attain as much as possible anatomical reduction, and patient can ambulate soon, and there will be reduced complication associated with prolonged recurrency. So this is a sliding hip screw, or also called as dynamic hip screw. So it is indicated in both stable and unstable fracture, and outcome is equal compared with the intramedullary hip screw or intramedullary nail. So the sliding hip screw is the most widely used implant for stabilization of both stable as well as unstable retrochanteric fracture. Sliding hip screw slide plate angle are available in 5-degree increment from 130 to 130 degree. The 135-degree plate is most commonly utilized. So here you can see the image on the left. This is the plate. This is the hip screw with the compression screw. So proximal femoral nail, that is medullary nail. This is the second option which we can use for stable as well as unstable. This is technically more demanding and it is most commonly used in an unstable fracture or reverse oblique fracture subtrochanteric with subtrochanteric extension. Outcome is equivalent to the sliding hip screw for stable fracture, which increase has significantly increased in the recent decade. So here is an X-ray showing proximal femoral nail in the right hip and a dynamic hip screw on the left side. Coming to the complication, infection, this is the most common seen in the post-operative period with other symptomatic complete. So next is the failed fixations. Most in this, screw may cut out of the osteoporotic bone if reduction is poor or if the fixation device is incorrectly positioned. If union is delayed, the implant itself may break. In either event, reduction and fixation may have to be redone. Malunion is more common because of various muscular force acting at the fracture site. Non-union and traumatic osteoarthritis and avascular necrosis are the other complications. The avascular necrosis is very rare in retrochanteric fracture. Thank you.